Hello and welcome to the New Zealand Business Show. I'm Lisa Williams and this show is all about innovative Kiwi businesses making their mark on the world stage. On the show we have Anne Gibson from Dry NZ, who has scored an international contract to supply fruit pieces to go into teas in Europe. Plus John Lawrence from Saito, who has technologically advanced labels for enhanced security and tracking. And Maggie Chen from Alpha Group, who has an amazing array of mushrooms and the health benefits of them. And joining me now on the program is Anne Gibson. She's the Managing Director of Dry New Zealand. Welcome to the show, Anne.
Thank you, Lisa.
So maybe you could start off by telling me, I know you're a little boutique business, but what does Dry New Zealand actually do?
Well, we take New Zealand's purest and freshest ingredients, apples, pears, fruit and veg, and we dry it into powders, pieces and slices. So a real range of dried products in the fresh fruit and veg line.
And where do the fresh fruit and vegetables come from? Are they New Zealand growers?
All New Zealand growers, yes. Yeah, we're very excited because we go and handpick our growers, and in places like Nelson, Hawke's Bay, Gisborne, Cromwell, so right throughout New Zealand.
So you've got the cream of the crop when it comes to the fruit and veggies.
We think we have, yeah. Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about, okay, so you get the product and you dry it. Where does it end up?
Well, we're very lucky. We've been successful in creating New Zealand's first fruit tea in Europe.
Wow.
So we are making this gorgeous fruit tea which will be on the shelves in Europe in 2019, and we have created enough fruit, dried fruit, for 7 million tea bags.
7 million tea
Yes.
bags. And are they a mixture?
Correct. There'll be about 9 flavours, and our customer will be mixing them with bits of tea leaves and other various products. But essentially this is the best of New Zealand's fresh fruit and veg dried into 2 to 5 millimetre pieces.
So how many kilos are we talking about here?
We're talking a lot. We're talking 7,000 dried kilograms.
7,000?
7,000, yes.
So that has already been dried, it's gone through the process, and what, in Europe now?
It's on its way. Yes, we've sent 4 containers over and we've got 1 more to go. So yeah, very excited.
Incredibly. So how on earth did you pick this contract up?
They searched the globe and they found New Zealand, and then they found Dry New Zealand. And essentially they wanted the vacuum dry technology and a very pure way of extracting moisture out of fruit and veg, and that's how it all started.
So tell me a little bit about the drying process.
Sure, it's a vacuum dry, so essentially all we are doing is removing the moisture from the product. So we don't add anything, we don't do anything at all. So the fruit and veg, the product, is actually in its most natural form. So when you have something under vacuum, all you're doing is just extracting the moisture, no oxygen, and you're left with pretty pure product at the end.
Right, so this is, say, apple like slices or pieces. So how do they end up? What do they look like? Are they kind of shriveled up, or?
Just a little, yes, yes. So you might put, say, a piece into the dryer and you might lose anything from, say, 10% moisture, or you might be taking 90% moisture out and you're left with 10% in. And that depends on what the customer would like. Predominantly our customers like between 4 and 8% moisture.
And where do you get the dryers from?
Well, it's a good New Zealand story. The company called Scott Technology in Dunedin actually make the dryers. They manufacture here in New Zealand, and then we lease the dryers from Dried Fresh. So it's a very, very positive 3-way relationship between Dried Fresh, Scott Technology and ourselves.
Okay, so you've got this major contract which is international. Have you got other contracts that you're working with?
We have. We feel very proud to be part of the New Zealand story. So we also make powders, and this is for Maraka, the dairy factory in Taupo, and we're part of their Whaiora smoothie range. So Dry New Zealand not only does tea pieces or pieces for cereals and yogurts, but we also dry and then mill and grind the dry product into a powder.
And what does that go into, like a smoothie or a drink, or?
Yes, currently it's the smoothie market, and we've got a few customers that are looking at our products for beverages, muesli bars, cereals, yogurts. So there's a real range that customers are now looking to us to provide.
And of course it's a big category. I mean, if you look at cereals to muesli bars to smoothies, I mean, that's quite a wide market, not to mention tea.
Oh, it's huge. And I think that as New Zealand grows and the business for us grows, so do ideas. And we've done a number of trials for things like meals, dried meals, which of course you can add fruit and veg to. And when it comes to things like shipping, it's so much easier to ship and air freight dried produce than it is to ship fresh fruit and veg.
And what about the certification process? I'd imagine, that would have to have been quite robust for the international client that you've delivered the teas to.
It is. I mean, we went through a very rigorous process for not only New Zealand, but also for Europe. So there was a very high standard in Europe for ensuring that we got accreditation. We're also accredited under NPI, Ministry of Primary Industries, as well as BioGrow. So we also are able to dry organic produce as well.
So you've also, with the range of veggies, I know in the lineup you've also got turmeric. Now turmeric's become very in vogue. Tell me a little bit about what you do with that product.
We dry it. So what we do is we bring it in from the Pacific Islands, either Fiji or Tonga, and we send the gang up into the highlands, and we make sure that we cut down the turmeric when it's a warm day, not a cold or wet day. We then monitor how long it takes, so we know how many air miles from Fiji to New Zealand, and within about 4 days we have the fresh turmeric. We then wash it, we then process it, and then it goes into the dryer. And then when it's dried and comes out, we then powder it into a very small particle size.
Wow. And, lattes, turmeric lattes seem to be the real go at the moment.
Look, turmeric is on trend, as we say, but it's been very, very popular for many years. And there are some of us that take it every day, and it's just part of your regular healthy lifestyle.
And blackcurrant, I mean, obviously blackcurrant is a big market too, and seems to be seen as the superfood. And I notice you've got quite a bit of that going on in the factory.
Yes, yeah, blackcurrant is a really interesting product. Not only is it a superfood, which is incredibly important for healthy living, but for us, we're making pieces for tea. We also have what we call less than 2 mils, and that is very popular. Now that's a particle size when I say less than 2 mils, which means that can be placed in cereals, yogurts, people can put it in their drinks, smoothies. So what you're doing, or what we feel we're doing, is creating quite a wide variety of products that people can use, whatever lifestyle they have.
So you're, a relatively small company, but you're in an expansion mode. How do you keep, juggling to expand and grow the business and keep moving with the times?
Growing is exactly the right word. I mean, there are growing pains like any business. And what we're going to do is we're going to be moving from our small facility into a much larger space. So we're going from a very small space probably to an extra large space, which means we'll probably rattle around for a little while, and our intention is to acquire more dryers so that we can keep up with demand.
And of course demand is the key, and with the contract that you've got internationally, clearly you're looking at more contracts internationally with the export market in mind?
We are, and good word and good reputation does travel fast, and yes, that's certainly, we are becoming reasonably well known for ensuring that we provide excellent service and really good New Zealand produce. And that's probably the key to the company, and that's our ethos, is that we want to take the best of New Zealand, dry it, and then send it overseas, because there are many countries that just love New Zealand.
Well, Anne, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you all the best with your products and your company going forward.
Thank you for having me.
And joining me now on the show is John Lawrence. He's the Trans-Tasman Business Manager Sales for Saito. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you, Lisa.
So tell me, what is Saito all about?
Saito are a New Zealand family-owned business in the second generation of leadership. We started out and our origins were around the humble date coder. But for 33 years we've listened to our customers, their challenges, their visions, and we've created solutions along the way.
So tell me a little bit about the products.
Primarily, we deal in three things. We deal in labels, tags, and inkjet. Everything that we do centres in some way or form around traceability. Some of the products that I'll show you later on are in tamper evidence and anti-fraud sort of market. But we deal in products, we do 1 million labels a week for Auckland Hospital for patient treatment. We do labels for food manufacturing. The big one at the moment is the timber industry, where we do the tags that go on the end of the logs, or also pack labels for processed timber that's being exported or sent around the country.
Because FMCG also is a huge market, that whole retail space, and obviously tempering, is crucial in their market.
I recently went to a apiculture conference, and honey is a very key item, and there's an RFID tag underneath the label on the honey. So when you pass by the sentry, it goes off if it's not paid for.
Wow, okay.
Saito don't deal in the highly decorative labels. We refer to that as the red ocean. That's where it's so oversubscribed and cutthroat as far as price goes.
So you're very niche.
We're very working labels. Everything that we do centres around a barcode in some way or form, absolutely. So we're the blue collar label.
So in terms of, the whole hospital industry, that's quite interesting in itself, because patients are in and out of hospital all the time.
That's very true. Usually what happens is that a patient arrives and there will be approximately 8 labels produced. One will go into the wristband. We produce the wristband and the label. We also supply the printers for the ward, the clerk's desk. Then the other 7 will go into a patient file.
Right.
They're then put onto the test request or treatment from that point of view, and away it goes. We call this mission critical. If that doesn't work, someone's treatment or test could be delayed. That could impact the life or of the patient.
So 33 years is a long time. How do you remain relevant?
The company is very forward thinking in everything that it does. Our founding director is now a mentor to the business and is very engaged in research and travelling to trade shows and things like that. So we're watching what's going on globally, and then listening to our clients in New Zealand, and then seeing if we can deliver the solutions.
So how many customers would you say you have in New Zealand? Because it must be quite vast.
We do. We've probably got about 2,500 in New Zealand, but our customers go from Madagascar, off the coast of Africa, all across Asia Pacific. A lot of work with the Papua New Guinea. And then we've got an office in Australia that covers Australia.
Wow, so you, what do you export, or is it just offices, satellites that are set up?
At the moment, it's distribution in Australia and what we term value add. So they would personalise, put barcodes onto things or stuff like that. We are looking to expand to potentially produce in Australia. from that point of view, and there's so much potential, it's not funny.
So when we talk about tags, I mean, that could be a very loose term, I suppose. But, obviously there's a lot involved in that whole tagging process.
So if we talk about labels, have an adhesive back, tags don't. So tags can have a string on them, like the heavy one that goes on your bag at the airport,
Yep.
priority one, and that can be a cotton one or elastic one. We did all the Commonwealth Games ones for Australia that were over there. Then the next one is a loop around tag that goes around a plant or something at a nursery.
Oh, yeah.
It comes back on itself. And then finally just a simple piece of synthetic plastic that's stapled to a pack.
So you've got quite a vast range of really good products that are unique, that are relevant to the marketplace. So with the product tampering, you've obviously brought some lovely products for us to showcase today, and perhaps we could have a look at that very shortly, where you can actually showcase how that actually works.
So there's two types. First of all, there is proof to the customer that it is a bona fide product, and then there is some sort of verification through the supply chain that it is authentic, so covert and overt, so to speak. We deal in, I forget, there are something like, I came from a background where I met Frank Abagnale in person twice. Frank Abagnale is the person who they made the movie of Catch Me If You Can.
Right.
So Frank Abagnale was an opportunist, a guy who really did write a lot of checks and do a bit of fraud, jumps some planes to things like that. So I've been involved in the fraud industry for a number of years, 20 plus, I guess, from that point of view. You're only ever one step ahead.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people exporting to China can't send a label on something. China don't want it. If the product is smudged in any way, it's rejected. It's got to be pristine. In New Zealand, we don't worry about if the product is pure. We accept that as being something that's happened. Something that's a given. Whereas overseas, they do not. People will buy cans, fill it with mud, almost, or substitute product, and then try and pass it off as the real thing.
Okay, so John, can you talk me through some of the security technology in some of the products that you've brought in today?
Sure. Voice recognition technology is a new wave that's coming through. This is using a tool.
Yep.
And a recording that's been put on. So
genuine Australian milk powder.
There's no evidence of it anywhere.
No.
From that point of view, and yet I can just...
Genuine Australian milk powder.
It's there,
Yeah.
okay? So if this was not a real bona fide can, then it wouldn't say that. Similar things are happening overseas, especially in the pharmaceutical area, for the...
Lamisil, genuine Novartis product. Voltaren, Rapid 25, genuine Novartis product.
So what we're looking for there is we're looking for the authentication. So people can copy the designs and produce it and substitute product.
Right, and so this way is a very robust way of ensuring that the product is what it says it is.
It's a way of authenticating. It's a way of checking if it's been tampered with or something like that. This is just one of a myriad of tamper-evident tools that are available. On your credit card, it will have a hologram,
Yeah.
microline printing, embossing, blacklight UV, some of these. This is just one of the tools within the supply chain that's being used to authenticate genuine products and really protect the brand.
And of course, obviously this sort of technology is improving all the time.
Totally.
And that is why, you know, you're obviously overseas, or your founders overseas, looking at new methods, new ways to innovate on a regular basis.
And help our customers, absolutely.
So, John, with regards to the voice recognition technology that you've got available, are you the only ones in New Zealand doing this?
This is our agency, and we're bringing this to market at the moment. This is actually the first time it's been shown.
Wow. Okay.
So
First time on television.
We haven't even shown it to our customers.
So you haven't even showcased it yet. Wow, that's so exciting.
It's so new.
Wow. Wow. So the new technology is obviously, you know, a way to really make sure that product tampering doesn't happen in this country.
More for our exporters
Yep.
that are sending things to places like China or the East, that they can be assured that the supply chain is secure, no one's going to insert something, or that the end product can be verified.
So it's a credible way.
Totally.
Yeah, fantastic. John, thank you so much for coming in.
Honestly, a pleasure. Thank you.
And joining me now is Maggie Chen. She is the General Manager of Alpha Group. Welcome to the show, Maggie.
Yeah.
So maybe you could start off by telling me what Alpha Group is all about.
Oh, sure. Alpha Group is founded in 1998 and right here in New Zealand, in Auckland. And Alpha Group is dedicated to develop medicinal and edible fungi and also natural herbs, health supplements.
Okay, so we're talking about health supplements for a particular product and market. For example, mushrooms, we normally eat mushrooms.
Right.
What's the health benefits of mushrooms?
There are so many different kinds of mushroom, and they have different properties. And I bring here some of the mushroom that grows in our farm. And this one we call the enoki mushroom, as also called the golden needle mushroom, and the white one, and the phoenix. And they are rich in anti-inflammation and antioxidant. And also we find that there is polysaccharides inside that.
I didn't realise that mushrooms were good for if you've got inflammation.
Yeah, it is. And it's also considered as the immune booster. So the fungi polysaccharides work very well for the immune system.
Of your immunity.
Yes.
Right, so, you know, when you say the immune system, is mushroom good to take, you know, for colds, or is it for something more than that?
It's more than that, and we have used one of the key mushroom, and then with other medicine to produce different products for different health
Requirements.
Yes.
Wow, okay. And I didn't realise in New Zealand we had so many different types of fungi or mushroom to choose from.
Yeah, that's true. Our founder, Professor Gao, when he came to New Zealand as a visitor scholar, he has researched for and discovered many different kind of mushroom here. So we found some that I have found here, the Ganoderma lucinda and ginseng, and that's from Taupo.
So a lot of these various different species, I suppose, go into a lot of the products that you produce?
Yes, we did. So that's why you can see the products I get here. And some are for this one, we call the Ganapoli, and for comprehensive, so it's for overall health. And for this one, we call the immune support formula, and that's what we help with the immune system that we talk about just now, and we call this C+. So C is for cancer, so it's prevent cancer.
Wow. Okay. So by taking this sort of product, it's builds up the immunity to prevent the cancer, or whilst you're going through the treatment of cancer, or both?
Both. The fungi polysaccharides, there's very unique property within all these different kind of fungi, and they have three main effects to the immune system. So first is the immune moderator. So it works with two ways for the immune system. When your immune system is low, it will help to strengthen them. And if your immune system is overactive, it can lower the immune system. So this is work as the immune moderation.
Right.
And second is the cells help to repair the cell membranes.
Right.
So the surface of this fungi polysaccharides is very similar to the surface of our cell membranes in the human body. So this similarity of their structure is helping the repair for the damage or the disease cell membranes.
Right, okay.
And third, it can also anti-tumors. Right,
okay.
so it's the three ways.
Wow. So the product is all developed here in New Zealand?
Yeah, that's developed here in New Zealand back in 1998, so it's been 20 years.
Wow. And do you export?
Yeah, we export a lot to many countries. So we have 4 subsidiaries in China and in Indonesia, in Thailand and Myanmar. And we also export to Australia,
Right.
United States, Singapore, and Korean, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau.
Wow.
etc.
Okay, so you've got that whole area kind of covered off. And are you finding that people are, taking the product, the uptake of the product is good in these countries?
Yeah, we got lots of very positive feedback, and we have been finding that the fungi polysaccharides and the natural herb has been considered by the Western society more and more.
Right, because I guess with the product that you've got and the fact with the support of Professor Gale, that it's very much been based on traditional Chinese medicine?
Right, that's right. Yeah, our products are based on the concept of traditional Chinese medicine. We
Right.
call it TCM. Yeah.
Okay. And so obviously a huge market already, and you've got quite an array of products here. Can you see more product development, happening?
Yeah, and we've been always very focused on developing new products, and the research and development has always been the cornerstone for the business from day one.
And how big do you see the growth, say, in the next 20 years?
Oh, it must be huge. The market, the demand is getting more and more. I just get a inquiry from a New Zealand scientist. Unfortunately, his wife is diagnosed of breast cancer, so he has been doing lots of research and readings, and all the studies he have got is for the immunotherapy.
Yes.
And then he contacted us, and because he knows that our products is having this benefit.
Right.
So we consider that the market will be very huge.
So Maggie, can you see that the ancient traditional Chinese medicine is becoming more popular in westernized society?
Yeah, we see the trend as going on this way. For the traditional Chinese medicine, the challenge is that difficult to demonstrate the structure and the formula and the dosage. So our products has been able to demonstrate this, and that's easier for the Western people to understand and to take it.
So do you see you're getting a sort of more of an uptake from, you know, Westerners on this sort of medicine?
Yeah. So that's why our products export to Australia and to many other Western countries.
Maggie, well, we would wish you all the best for the future and thank you so much for coming in to join us on the show today.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for joining us on the New Zealand Business Show. See you next time.